Yo, what is good? My anime people. I can't get an attack off my anime people. Guys, I have been relatively happy to just see Plunderers do well on the channel, but it does come with its problems, seeing how I put it was a review on the video to tell people it's not the episode, and yet I'm getting all this hate spam of clickbait when people do worse than me. People will put in English dub or sub on it without telling you it's just a review. So I don't know what you want from me, but do yourself a favor, and if you don't like that I give you a heads up that it's a review, and you know it's a review, but you still come click the video and then get mad when it's not the episode, please just add me to like a block list or whatever and move on, because I like I don't care. I'm not trying to clickbait you. I don't care if you do think that, but just to get that out of the way, because everybody that might see this video might see my two other reviews on this show and be like, oh well, this guy did this and look. I just don't care anymore. Let me just be the first one to tell you, because even my anime people know that as well. So with all that being said, this week's episode was much, much slower compared to what we got in a two-episode special for me anyway. I didn't end up watching each episode one by one, seeing how it straight up ended the way I expected it. I did check out the end of episode 2 to make sure everything kind of fell in line with what I knew, what I've seen. But yeah, other than that, everything I already knew. And what happens with the guy who pretty much comes through and is going to be maybe Ace's true like rival throughout all of this for quite some time. I can see us getting a couple instances where they might be able to work together, because at the end of the day, the legendary Ace isn't someone who is really bad per se. Like in the case of any and everywhere he goes, he's not someone that's a criminal that should be treated like a criminal. Well, this episode is kind of questionable with how he was going up on the lady, but it's also the fault of the other guy for egging her on and actually telling her to go with it. But no, and that's just where my excitement comes for the show. I don't have any expectations other than what I've seen in the first two episodes, which had comedy, had action, had all this different stuff. Sure, this episode didn't have action in it like it was like the first two, but in the very first episode, no action would have really happened regardless either, and it would have been cut short. So you have to take these things into consideration now that um, we also learned who's going to be chasing after our main character. It only comes safe to say, how will this guy be capable, or why is he even confident that he can take this guy out? What does he know about Ace to be feeling like, oh yeah, as soon as we get to Ace, we'll just destroy this guy, and we'll move on with our life, or we'll capture him, bring him to justice, and get his bail that or the thing that he's holding that gives him supposedly the capability to not go into the abyss, seeing how he has negative numbers. So I hate this girl. um, the big problem with all of this is we've only seen like so many characters, and I feel like sooner or later this show might hit one of those rocks where next thing you know, every character we kind of meet is either just bad or uh, maybe helpful towards the cause until the very end, until they all have to choose sides and kind of make their moves. It feels like that kind of show where not much is going to come from the background of everything, but mostly it's all going to stem from the actions of the people who start banding together or start working together, seemingly. Not too sure, but I am looking forward to it nonetheless, only because people who have pushed forward certain narratives for, episodes or for characters from what they've seen, what within the time period, it kind of leaves less to be just predicted, leaves less to be imagined, in my opinion. So that's why I kind of don't like to go into like too theory heavy base. Like I have my own theories, like of course I do after seeing some of these episodes, but to go and put them out there in the case of almost feeling like it's truly possible to happen does feel kind of counterproductive for me anyway, when I just like to take what I get and work with it. So we have someone that can not only kind of read the people, or at least understand somebody who would be willing to protect another, even at the cost of their own life, seeing how he said he didn't go easy on liars, and the next words out of her mouth were supposedly a lie if he goes to the west when she said east and actually finds him, right? So these are the little things you have to pay attention to and take note of, because with all of it popping off, or like the funny stuff happening, the overall like the destruction of the shop, in the case of the reason why she was grinding so hard was so she can get on the journey, right? Like the girl who was supposedly going to go help out the lich or ace. So that's the type of stuff that really does give you an understanding of why the narrative kind of is circling around the people, and why I think um, every time like a bad guy or a good guy is going to show up, it's going to be quite obvious, which I hope it isn't. Because like this week's episode, just by the way they introduce this guy, he shows up, asks one question. Before the question's asked, people are running for their lives, making sure they're gone. Our bartender figures out the emblem on his arm is something, to really kind of be hesitant of, I guess you can say. And all of these things are coming to light within, less than 2 minutes of screen time, dang there. So that's the type of stuff that I've seen in a lot of shows that kind of continue, and then once they get what they need to get at the end of the day, they just flush away those characters by the main character slapping them, or even other characters that maybe show up to help the cause slap them and show off their power. So we'll see how this turns out. I definitely am happy I dropped Plunderers when I did, and it did all good and stuff, but at the end of the day, if every single one of my videos do how they've been doing on the channel, where they get like only 30 views, 40 views, whatever, like even 20, that's fine. I have 300 subs, but 20 people watch my videos consistently. Those are my anime people. Those are the people I'm making these videos for. Those are the people that I want to see these things. And if you guys don't have anything to say in the comments, it's 100% fine. But every time I put something out, you guys come out to support. And that's all I could ask for in a channel that I'm sharing my honest opinion with. And there's other, apps and stuff I have to talk to you guys. And that's where truly this stuff makes me want to get back online every day to make a video for whatever comes out. So I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you everybody who supports, and I definitely am looking forward to talk to you guys in the next one. So with all that being said, have an amazing day, night, evening. I'm sorry if you thought I clickbait you to watch my Plunderers videos. I don't even link my old reviews to my new ones, like for extra viewship on my old reviews. Like there's just things that come off whatever way to people, and I have to accept it, and I just want you to know that I see it all. I just move on. So with that being said, have an awesome one, everybody. Peace.